Hello lovies, this is Gina from Gina Louise Designs. Today I changed my YouTube name. Woohoo! Not really a big deal. It's not a big change, but I felt it would help my viewers to know what my YouTube channel is all about. So I went from Gina Louise to Gina Louise Designs. Okay, today I have 6 fun and easy thrift flips for spring decor. I think you will enjoy them. They're very shabby chic and feminine. So let's get started. DIY number 1. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made this Pinterest inspired bird's nest from things I picked up at the thrift store and things from the dollar store. You will need scraps of lace, a candlestick, a small bowl that you're going to attach to the top of the candlestick, your hot glue gun, some ribbon, the pieces of lace. Like I said, these lace pieces are from the Dollar Tree. The other pieces I had rolls of lace that I grabbed, some burlap ribbon. This necklace I got from the dollar store because I wanted bling. Raffia from the dollar store. A fabric scissor. Rhinestone. Here's my bowl. Everything was half price. It also came with a trivet. There's my mercury glass candlestick that I got half off for $1. I love mercury glass, so I was thrilled. Now I am taking my mercury glass candlestick. You can do this with Dollar Tree items. You can just get a candlestick holder and a bowl from the Dollar Tree and do the same exact thing. I'm going to attach it with my E6000 glue to make a permanent hold, but E6000 takes overnight to dry, so as most of you crafters and DIYers know, you also add hot glue to it because the hot glue will dry fast and it will adhere the two items together while the E6000 takes its time to dry overnight. Now I'm just cutting all my lace into strips and making these tattered pieces in all different types of lace. And I am going to hot glue them around the edge of the dish, putting on the longer pieces first, and then do another row with shorter pieces. Make sure they're not even. It should look like different tattered pieces of lace. Like fairy princess birds made this instead of using twigs and branches lace. After you get your rows of tattered lace, now I just add some pieces of pearls and some broken strips of rhinestone chain, some broken pieces of jewelry just to add that bling. It's already looking so pretty. I just absolutely love this. Now I'm hot gluing some moss in there and shaping it into a bird's nest. I added some raffia and roses and pearls to the top of the nest. I took Dollar Tree eggs and I painted them with Serenity Blue, and I put a little glitter on it, and that's what I put in my nest. And here is the final results. DIY number 2. I got this galvanized wall pocket for, it was $1.99. I got it for half off. Although I love galvanized metal, I just really wanted this to be more of a shabby chic style. So I took my chiffon cream chalk paint and I painted the entire thing. Now that it's fully painted and dry, I decided I wanted to paint the handle black. I didn't want it the brown. And I also taped the wire handles closer to the galvanized part to not get it all over the wire. I grabbed a piece of scrap muslin I had, and I'm going to stamp it and create a pocket on the front of my wall hanging. I'm taking this pretty curved leaf stamp and I'm just going to stamp it so it looks into a circle and make it look like a wreath. I had a wreath stamp, but it wasn't big enough for what I wanted to do because I wanted to stamp some lavender in the center of this wreath. Now I'm just stamping some lavender in the center of my wreath that I made. I'm using 2 different color purples. I'm using a deeper one and a lighter one and alternating it. Now I'm going to hot glue it onto my wall hanging in a pocket shape. So I'm going to keep the top open so that I can stuff it with some lavender. I have this leftover crochet. Anyone who has watched my Valentine wreath, I had used this and cut it, and I said I was going to save it and I'd find the perfect project for it. And this is the perfect project for it because I'm going to put this pretty crochet along the top. I ended up using the other piece because it had a straight edge and it just looked more finished than the crochet piece. Now I'm just going to add some lavender to the pocket, and then I'm going to fill the inside with some of my all-time favorite pink peonies. And here are the final results. I hope you love this as much as I love it. DIY number 3. I bought this little flower box for $3.99 half price from the thrift store. It had some styrofoam in it and it had a little bit of green grass in it, and I was like, well, for $2 I'm sure I can make something fun out of this. The corners were a little messed up and you could see white, so I took a couple of my browns and mixed them and dabbed it and tried to create the same color to hide the little damaged areas. First I added some more Spanish moss to it. Then I took that little cute nest that I got from the thrift store and I just propped it up in the corner, added a little more Spanish moss to that, to the edge, and then I took that robin, that little ceramic bird that I got from the thrift store, and I added that. First step was to add some of that pretty lavender that I got from the Dollar Tree. From my stash, I grabbed some of those baby breaths. I bought them on Amazon. I'll put the link below. I grabbed branches from my backyard, and I got this big, beautiful thing of these cherry blossoms. Those are little roses from the Dollar Tree. I ended up not using those, But I got this wreath that had tulips and roses, and it was from the thrift store. It was like $2. I used all those flowers and different things. But these cherry blossoms I also got, paid $1.50 for all of that from my thrift store. And I decided to add them by sticking branches in from my garden, my backyard actually, and then I hot glued the cherry blossoms to the ends of the branches to make them look realistic. And I just put a few baby breaths around just to put a little pop of white in there. I just love, love, love the way this came out. But then I had a last minute idea. I decided to take some of the leftover branches and poke them into the styrofoam and put a letter, a Scrabble letter on each one to spell out spring. And then I decided to take some of that leftover lace still that I had, the crochet lace, and I added a piece around the bottom of the flower pot and, oh, flower box actually. And oh, wait till you see how this came out. I just love it. I'm just spelling out the word spring here and pushing it through the flowers. I will show the final results of this DIY at the end of this video. So make sure you watch it until the end, because all the rest of the DIYs you're going to see will be shown at the very end. I hope you're enjoying this video, and if you are, please subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment below, and hit the little bell so you could be notified. DIY number 4. I got a bunch of these candlesticks for $1 at my thrift store, and I've done so many projects with them. So I thought it would be fun to make this one into a bird's nest. For this project, you're going to need a brown paper bag and some Spanish moss, and you can do this with any candlestick you have. So I'm taking the candlestick, and I just wanted to put a brown wax on it. I always make my own waxes, so I just use clear wax that I get from Home Depot, and I just mix it up with a little brown paint, and that's how you can make a dark wax. Now I'm just going to brush the brown wax all over the candlestick and let it sit for a little bit, and then I'm just going to wipe it off, and it gives it a nice aged look. So while that sits for a little bit, I'm taking a brown paper lunch bag, and I'm just going to cut some slits in the top and the sides, and I'm going to just roll it down. Now I'm just going to cover the outside and the inside with moss, and it makes the easiest bird's nest. You can make tons of them for under $2. Isn't it so cute? So now I'm just going to take my candlestick, and I'm going to wipe off all the extra wax, and it looks lovely when it's done. It has that nice aged look. See how nice it comes out with that nice brown antiquing wax? I love it. Now I'm just going to put the bird's nest on top. I love it, and at the end you will see how I staged this. DIY number 5. For this project, I used the glass vase I had from Walmart, some Easter egg cookie cutters from Michael's, and air dry clay. First thing I did was I took out my air dry clay and I rolled it out with a rolling pin between two pieces of parchment paper. Then I took a piece of scrap crochet and I put that over the clay and put a piece of parchment paper over it and rolled it out to get the crochet look. I want to have random pieces of crochet and lace printed on this clay. Then I took my cookie cutter and I cut out a bunch of eggs from the lace design. I carefully peeled back the extra pieces, saving them for another project later on. Now this was the very difficult part. I took my glass container and I took my wood glue and I glued in a layered effect my beautiful lace Easter eggs on this vase. They kept slipping off, so I had to use some painter's tape to hold them in place. If you have a better idea or a better glue that would have worked on this, please leave a comment below because I definitely struggled with this part. I started from the center of the glass. I did a layer and then I did the next layer overlapping my first layer, and then I did a third layer on the bottom overlapping the middle layer. Even though I taped them, they still seem to be sliding, so I let it dry overnight upside down, and then the next morning I took rubbing alcohol and Q-tips and I cleaned the glass wherever the glue was showing between the eggs, and I also used some nail polish remover as well because the alcohol didn't work that well. Then I took my scraper and I scraped the extra glue off. If you know a better way of getting wood glue off of glass, please leave a comment below because I definitely needed some help with this part. I then covered the eggs with some gesso because I wanted my paint to stick really well to the clay eggs. Then I took some of my craft paints and I mixed them up and made some pastel colors by adding my white chalk paint to the colors because I wanted this to be very Eastery, so I wanted my colors to be lighter and more pastel. I painted each egg alternating the pastel colors so no two eggs were touching that were painted the same color. Now I made my own white wax by taking clear wax and mixing it with some linen white chalk paint. And I just want to go over that to seal it and to bring out the little nooks and crannies in the lace and to just bring down the color and make it even lighter. Now I just took a cloth and I wiped off the excess wax, and you can see it brought the color down and made it very muted, the pastels. I just love it. It definitely came out the way I had it pictured in my head, but it was definitely a struggle getting here. To style my Easter vase, I had this little faux grass plant and I just plopped that right inside, and I had this wood carved bunny that I got from the thrift store for, I think I paid $1/4 for it, and I took the little wood bunny and just stuck him in the middle of the grass, and it just looks so adorable sitting on my china closet. If you are enjoying this video, please consider subscribing and helping my channel grow. On to DIY number 6. Whenever I see cream and sugar sets in the thrift store, I pick them up. There's so much fun things you could do. I got this for $1.99 half off. I paid $1 for the whole set. And these are great for your tier trays. There's so much you can do with them. First, I covered them with my Rust-Oleum Rust-Oleum chalk paint. I really wanted to spray paint them. It would have been easier. It's just that the weather was terrible this day. So I just covered them both because I needed a lighter background. I wanted to shabby chic these out, and I had this beautiful napkins that I bought when I went to South America. I went to this area in Chile where it was all craft stores, and I saw these gorgeous napkins. I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but I figured I would decoupage something when I got home. So I decided to decoupage this cream and sugar set and set it up beautifully for spring and Easter, and probably even summer. I'll leave it there in my tier tray. As you will see in this portion of my video, I had a little helper. My granddaughter Ava was sitting on my lap, and you could see her little fingers here, and you will see her throughout the video because she really wanted to get involved. Here are those beautiful napkins I was talking about, and I'm just going to decoupage both of these cream and sugar, the cream and sugar and the lid. First I removed the backing. It was a one ply, so I peeled off the extra piece. I couldn't get it off, so one of the little tricks that I use is I put a little Mod Podge on my paintbrush and I tap the napkin, and it usually helps take it apart. Now Ava and I are covering the sugar bowl with Mod Podge. Since it is a round surface, the napkin is not going to go completely around smooth. So there's areas where we will patch up, and with this print it worked out lovely. As you can see on the sugar bowl, it peeled off a little bit of the paint. I should have let it cure longer than I did, but I always want to just get everything done ASAP. After I completely covered all the pieces and let it dry, I took my homemade white wax and I white waxed it to bring the color down, just like I did on my clay Easter eggs. I just wanted to mute the color more, make it a little more pastel. And now you will see how I staged everything, and you will see the final results. And this was such a fun video to do. I loved all my pieces. I'm trying to figure out which is my favorite. It may be the cream and sugar bowl, although I do love my Shabby Chic bird's nest that I have all the rhinestones and the pearls and the broken jewelry. I have that in my bathroom. So you tell me which one was your favorite piece. And now for the final results. This is my spring centerpiece. Everything in here was thrifted that you see, and upcycled and handmade. I made those fake pieces of cake that you see. The beautiful glass dish it's sitting in was thrifted. All the flowers were thrifted. And of course, my cream and sugar bowl that you saw me just make. And this is in the center of my dining room table. Please consider subscribing to my channel. It helps my channel grow. And please leave a comment below and let me know which was your favorite project of the day. I really love to hear everybody else's style, what they liked best, what they would have done different. So please leave a comment and let me know. And I just want to thank everybody for watching my channel. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for watching.